Cause we used to go to Marineland in my childhood, and now they're almost dead. They're still alive, but they're not quite dead yet. They're almost dead.
In Ontario, where all the dolphins dance in a row, you know. From big
Animal
to
abuse.
small, we've got something for all. Everyone loves Marineland. We've got belugas.
What was that? Is this a real commercial? That got me. I was like, there's no way. Everyone loves animal abuse.
Like an ad in a local paper asking for a marine mammal trainer's assistant. Next thing you know, I'm sitting in an interview with the man that would become a future mentor of mine, and he's asking me, if I had any experience with any wild animals. I told him I had an iguana, and next thing you know, I'm working with whales. I couldn't believe it. On day one, I was feeding whales.
My light has been off for so long. Upon their arrivals test, they're tasked with helping the trainers.
They don't know to lay down and tolerate the pain of an injection. So we wrestle them down. Well, amidst this, we were wrestling down Buttercup, and Smooshy, who was then Pumpkin, became really agitated and protective, and started to climb the trainers. So I sort of break away from the pile, and I go to sort of try to draw her away from the scene. I tap her on the face, and I remember vividly, her eyes look up at mine, and she takes this deep breath, and my hands are above her face. And little did I know at that moment, but in her brain, some type of natural something triggered this phenomenon where I'm the one that imprinted on her.
It's a match made in Marineland.
Phil Demers.
Phil Demers and Smooshy the walrus.
It's a kind of bond that can develop between animals and people. For 3 years, this trainer at Marineland in Ontario has been working with a walrus named Smooshy, and as you'll hear, he became very close to Smooshy. In fact, maybe a little too close.
So now she was following me everywhere.
The hell does that mean? Maybe a little too close. Wait, what are you implying, Jimmy?
She would quite literally follow me anywhere. Some of my fondest memories.
Bonding? Bonding. Maybe a little too much bonding. like that Marineland commercial we just saw.
We're taking her around the park. Something that would be impossibly difficult to train an animal to do. And I would just throw her in the back of a truck. I was sitting.
You're kind of ugly, not gonna lie.
Something that would be impossible.
Kind of got that exophthalmos going, kind of, bulging out like that. Very cute in a weird way. Yeah, it's kind of the meaning behind the eyes that are cute. It looks very innocent. Very wide-eyed.
With her, we go drive around the park.
But,
I would walk her between the stadium and the
definitely in a
and the
weird
aquarium,
way.
and just walk her in broad daylight while the park open. People are watching me walk this walrus, and this walrus would follow me, down the asphalt into the aquarium, and then we put my arm around her and watch the show, and people would lose their mind because they couldn't believe this man just walked in with a baby walrus. These are really fond memories. And also in terms of sense of humor, I used to sing this song to her, and she knew it was like, let's get crazy, and I would throw toys and put the hose out for her, and she would roll around and go nuts, and we would wrestle, and she always knew the boundaries. I mean, she was a massive animal. Isn't
that so cool? Can you imagine having some kind of bond like that? Have you ever had a bond like that with a wild animal?
But I could
maybe an iguana
jump on her back and stuff, and she loved it. She loved to roughhouse, of course. But so I really say that it was like a curse and blessing. But
yeah,
as with any powerful relationship, you have your ups and downs.
Too close. "10 days, huh?"
Smooshy.
You don't know about killed? What's killed? Q-I-L-D. Oh, wild, right? My bad. What is beside Q? There's nothing close to Q that would make ILD make sense. I don't know what Kyled is.
Quickly,
They seem so cool.
She developed these stress welts. She stopped eating.
Oh my God.
She lost 30 pounds. I mean, it was, when I got back, it was like, wow. It was pretty bad. So I recognized that this in and of itself is a health issue. The fact that if I'm done tomorrow,
Yeah.
And then eventually in 2012, when the water went so bad, that's when no one was immune to the effects of the bad water.
Look at that disgust. Ew! In 2012, Marineland's ozone generator, which serves to disinfect the water, broke down. As a cost-saving measure, the resolve was to significantly increase the chlorine levels. Like, don't you have a backup plan? Like, if one ozone generator breaks, I'll have a second? Or no, too bad. All the animals will suffer, and we'll just chill around. That's cool. That's all
Seeing
right.
her was absolutely destroying me. Going up to work and smelling that pungence of chlorine, knowing the animals got scorched, and then having to go in and see the effects of it. And then, you know, Smooshy was in the furthest pen, so as I'm walking, I would see a row
Oh
of
my
animals.
god, this footage is what got me. It is disgusting.
And smelling that pungence of chlorine.
I do
the
take
animals
video
get
suggestions
scorched.
though, of course.
And
Look
then
at
having
that! Nikolsky signed positive. Probably don't want to see this. How in 2012 could people think like that? I don't know. It's so weird. 2012 is like yesterday. Nikolsky positive is this. You kind of touch it, and it just comes right off.
Go in and see
So
the effects
that
of it.
is basically Nikolsky
Chlorine
positive on
knowing the
seals,
animals.
I guess. Oh my god.
And then, you know, Smooshy was in the furthest pen, so as I'm walking, I would see a row of animals, and all the animals are writhing on the deck. You know, their furs coming off in patches, in some cases, eyes bleeding. Like this was some really.
Look at that! Look at those eyes! Oh my god, that is gut-wrenching.
This was a really dark time.
It
I would see
was.
that row of animals, and I would continue to walk, and I would see the opposing row, and then another row, and then I would walk down, and that's when I would.
Ah, those are sentient beings. Oh my god.
From the corner see Smooshy, and always sort of coming around the corner of that dark wall, and then seeing the bars, and then finally seeing what condition she was in was like arduous. It was horrible, just that anticipation of walking the corner and expecting what to see, and always hoping for the best, of course, but not often getting that result. That was gut-wrenching. That was a gut-wrenching period.
I said that.
2012.
No, Smooshy. You were so full of life. Hug it, give it some love. Don't just film it. Oh no! I want to cry right now. I actually want to
When
cry.
you see animals suffer in the capacity that we did, who are-
Smooshy's so sweet. I know. It gets
They have
sweeter
a
every time
different
I
set of
see
priorities.
it. I see it. I think she's a sheep. Why are they not eating?
This is necessary. Yes, it
What is necessary filming? Only film when necessary. This is necessary. No, it isn't.
it was like an
Yes, it is.
epiphany
No,
for
what
me.
is
I
it? Yes, it is.
realized that I was a part of the problem.
Yeah.
Like,
That's a hard thing to realize. Hey, look at the cat. Well, I didn't even realize that was a cat until it started licking.
those
itself.
animals were suffering, and it was now because I wasn't doing enough for them.
Oh my god, the malnutrition. It's palpable. Literally. In May of 2012, Phil quit Marineland with an agreement that he could visit Smooshy regularly. Because Smooshy needs that. 1 month later, he went back for the first time. Oh man.
Once I got to the park,
10 days was the most before that, huh?
and she's like, "Oh, hey, what's going on?" I'm like, "I'm just coming to visit. Like, what's going on?" And she's like, "You're not gonna like what you're gonna see."
Oh
I'm like,
no.
Okay. And so I walked to the back of the park, or rather the back of the barn,
Worse than what he already saw?
and I turned that corner, and there she is, and she is in the worst condition I've ever seen her. Bone dry, emaciated, no food on deck, no ice on deck, no water.
Is it
so
so
skinny,
hard
lethargic, like moving slow.
to look
And
after
she,
them?
she curls her eyes up at me, and I'm just like,
Like, isn't it hard to look after them
That's
this
like-
bad?
like my heart's in the pit of my stomach. I felt absolutely sick because now it occurred to me that I don't have the luxury of not speaking about this anymore. It's imminent. I have to do something.
Well, let's explain to everybody who is unfamiliar. They used to work for Marineworld.
Marineland.
Marineland,
Yes.
excuse me, which is like Seaworld for Canada. Something like that. A type of thing. A type of Seaworld, right?
SeaWorld's a day at the spa for animals compared to Marineland, but yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah,
It's that much worse.
significantly worse.
Like, just the prospect of having orcas in those small tanks is bad enough. And you're not even looking after them after you put them in there? How did they get in? Did they like kind of sneak themselves in? Like they all bought tickets and then got in, and then they all instantly took their signs out of their pockets. Oh my god!
The matters of fact is everything that's gone in there and everything that's been reported is very real. people are going to try to hide. I'm learning this for the first time now. Just how much we've exposed and how dirty and criminal some of the things that are going on, and it's almost overwhelming to believe, just to learn what you're up against.
After speaking out about his experiences, Marineland sued Phil for, oh my god, $1.5 million, alleging he plotted to steal Smooshy the Walrus. I mean, I hope he did. Soon after, Marineland began a campaign of intimidation.
The more that I
Phil.
came back with a response to their attacks, the more their attacks escalated. Soon they were sending the police to my house, frivolously. Soon they were sending private investigators that would, we're not talking small people. We're talking like bulbous, like hulking dudes with -30 with their cowboy boots and their tank tops on, and to the point where the owner even began to stalk my own house. And this is not something that he is exclusive to me. He's done this to other people before. And so there was always rumors of his stalking ways and threatening ways. Well, I got to experience that myself because
oh god, that is such an unflattering
seat.
picture. Okay. People always do that when they don't like him. Just pick the absolute most disgusting picture ever. Like if someone hates me one day, if I make the news for something bad, there's so much footage that on stream that they can easily pick like such a bad moment, such a bad frame, and put me on the front page with me going like this. Oh, there, I did it again. There we go. You're welcome, news people.
But whatever it is he was doing, it certainly wasn't enough to deter us from anything.
Canadian Senate, 2017. That is recent. Wow. 5
Word is out
years?
about this burgeoning relationship.
No.
It's kind of a once-in-a-lifetime thing, and I've never seen it anywhere else.
How's Smooshy
Excellent,
doing?
great relationship.
I don't love this love story if it's gonna end like this.
I'm still here. I'm still going. As long as she holds on, she'll see me again. Just hold on and believe. So for me, I do believe I'll see her again, and that reunion is going to be insane. All of the cumulative experiences that I've had, all of them is not going to compare like seeing her again. But they're all part of it, so it all will flood back. I mean, I can't even imagine what that would be like. But that's the experience I want in life more than anything.
Seaworld Stadium. Okay.
Our turn. Production. We have the same last name.
Okay.
Our turn productions.
We actually have a trainer in the water with one of our whales. The whale that they're not supposed to be in the water with. Okay. We'll get somebody en route.
What are you gonna do? Shoot him?
A whale is one of the trainers. A whale ate one of the trainers? That's correct.
A whale ate one of the trainers.
When you look into their
Alrighty.
eyes, you know somebody is
Alrighty,
somebody's looking
oh,
back.
see this gets me. When he says
when you look into their eyes, you know somebody is home.
That's all I need. You know somebody's home. Oh my god.
Somebody's looking back. You form a very personal relationship with your animal.
I knew Dawn when she was new, and she obviously blossomed into one of Seaworld's best trainers.
This is Dawn Brancho. Dawn is the senior trainer here at Shamu Stadium.
I guess you could say I kind of knew Dawn in a past life.
Shamu?
It's a tough job, isn't it?
Yeah, we really do go through a lot of physical exertion. You can see in the show, we do a lot of deep water work, breath holds, very high energy behaviors with the animals. Obviously, they're giving out a lot of energy too, but we're working together and having a lot of fun as well.
Oh, Dawn with an AW.
She's blonde, she's athletic, she's friendly. You know, everybody loves Dawn.
And I mean,
everyone loves her because she's blonde and athletic.
so sincerely, of watching you perform yesterday, you're amazing. Thank you. You really are.
She captured what it means to be.
She was not expecting that compliment.
Amazing. Thank you. You really are.
She captured
That
what
was
it
such a nice
means to
compliment.
be.
Did you see any blood in the water or anything like that?
Well, that's part of it. She was scalped, and there was no blood.
Okay.
So
What?
Pretty much, we knew.
What do you mean she was scalped? Did the orca pull on her hair and I hope not.
Then that the heart wasn't beating.
Once they were able to pull her away, how did he let go of the...
He didn't.
He never let go of the
arm?
The arm.
He swallowed it.
He swallowed it. So the arm is nowhere.
Right.
If you were in a bathtub for 25 years, don't you think you'd get a little irritated, aggravated, maybe a little psychotic?
We've had aircraft that...
Isn't that so profound? Before watching this, I had never thought of it like that. A bathtub for 25 years. Can you imagine? Can you even imagine? I can't imagine. Being in a bathtub for 25 years?
But the orcas had been caught before, and they knew what was going on, and they knew their young ones would be taken from them. So the adults without young went east into a cul-de-sac, and the boats followed them, thinking they were all going that way, while the mothers with babies went north.
Because they can't take you can't really take a huge, I don't know how many ton orca, you know? You gotta take it when they're small.
But the capture teams had aircraft. And they have to come up for air eventually.
That's
and when
cheating.
The capture teams alerted the boats.
They
and said,
outsmarted you.
No, they're going north, the ones with babies. So the boats, the speedboats, caught them there and herded them in. And then they had fishing boats with seine nets that they would stretch across, so none could leave, and then they could just pick out the young ones.
You understand then what you're doing. It's like kidnapping a little kid away from her mother.
It's not like it's
Everybody's
literally
watching.
that.
What can you do?
It's literally that. Like them being that smart, it's even worse. Like if they were dumb as bricks, you know, you could just put them in a bathtub. That would be cool. But they're not. They're just not.
In the net, and so they had Peter and Brian and I cut the whales open, fill them with rocks, put anchors on their tail, and sink them. Well,
what?
There were 3 dead whales
Oh.
in the net, and
oh my
so
god!
they had Peter and Brian and I cut the whales open, fill them with rocks, put anchors on their tail, and sink them. Well, really, I didn't even think about it being illegal at that point.
Really, that's what you gotta say? Oh, it was illegal. Whoopsies. Illegal. Totally moral, totally ethical. Dang it, it's illegal. Frick. Listen. You surround them with nets. You just want to take one. You kill 3 of them by accident. And then you put bricks in them? How do you put bricks in them? Do you suture them back up too? Ah, that is... I did not remember that. Didn't think keywords. Exactly. Try it next time. Try using your brain, maybe like these guys are using them, right? A male killer whale was captured in the North Atlantic. This is Tilly. Free Tilly. Have you guys watched Free Willy? At 2 years of age, she was already 11.5 feet long. That's more than 7 feet. It was what I was gonna say. I was trying to say that's more than 2.5 meters, but that's more than 7 feet.
Techniques that involve punishment. He would team a trained orca up with Tilikum, who was untrained. He would send them both off to do the same behavior. If Tilikum didn't do it, then both animals were punished. Deprived of food to keep them hungry. This caused a lot of frustration with the larger animal, the established animal, and would in turn get frustrated with Tilikum and would rake him with his teeth.
There would be times during certain seasons that Tilikum would be covered head to toe with rakes. Rakes are teeth on teeth and raking the skin from head to toe.
Like when they said covered, I was not expecting.
You could see blood and you could see scratches,
covered.
and he would just be raked off.
The issue was really that we stored these whales at night in what we call a module, which was 20 feet across and probably 30 feet deep, as a safety precaution because we were worried about people cutting the net and letting them go, and the lights were all turned out. So there's really no stimulation. They're just in this dark metal 20-foot by 30-foot pool.
The whale was 11.5 feet when they got him. Definitely got bigger. 20 feet? That is so small.
For 2/3 of their life.
When we first started, they were quite small and quite young, so they fit
That's
in there
like
quite
from
nicely.
here to
but
here.
They were immobile for the most part.
Something like that.
It didn't feel good. It just
didn't.
And it
Didn't feel
was
good
just
at the
wrong.
time either.
We started having difficulty getting them all into this one small steel box, to be honest. That's what it was. It was a floating steel box.
That's what you did too. You steal them.
Food deprivation would come in. We would
From their
hold back
mothers.
food, and they would know if they went in the module that they would get their food. So if they're hungry enough, they're going to go in there.
And during the winter, that would be from 5 at
Such
night
an
till
abusive relationship.
closing that door on him and knowing that he's locked in there for the whole night is like, it's a staff. Whoa.
If that is true, it's not only, inhumane.
So many things that are just like accepted because the order came from up top. It's weird how that works. Like, he's crying about it, thinking about it. But he did it. It was just, he was going through the motions.
And to this day, there's no record of an orca doing any harm to any human in the wild. They live in these big families, and they have lifespans very similar to human lifespans. The females can live to about 100, maybe more. Males to about 50 or 60. But the adult offspring never leave their mother's side.
This is so bad.
But the adult offspring never leave their mother's side.
They're always next to their mother.
Each community,
except for when you steal them from there.
Completely different.
It would be hard to decide if you should stay and try to make things better or leave in hopes of making a statement. Yeah. But here's the deal. You're probably not making a statement that matters. Unless you're Phil Demers, I guess. I guess maybe you can. But a majority of the time, if you're leaving, you're probably not going to make much of a statement. And if you're staying, you're probably not making much of a change. So it's kind of like 95% of the time, the decision is, do you want to stay and participate, or do you want to distance yourself? Because you're probably not going to have much of an impact on this big of an industry, Either way, superiors aren't going to listen. Yeah.
Set of behaviors.
It's just how it be.
Each has a complete repertoire of vocalizations with no overlap. You could call them languages. The scientific community is reluctant to say any other animal but humans uses languages, but there's every indication that they use languages.
The orca brain
They're
just
so
screams
smart.
out. Their brain
Oh my
is
god.
extended
Is
out,
that how big it is?
adjacent
It's
to
kind of
their
small, not gonna lie.
A part of their brain has extended out
expect
right
bigger.
adjacent to their limbic system. The system processes emotions. The safest inference would be these are animals that have highly elaborated emotional lives. It's becoming clear that dolphins and whales have a sense of self, a sense of social bonding that they've taken to another level, much stronger, much more complex than in other mammals, including humans. We look at mass strandings, the fact that they stand by each other. Everything about them is social, everything.
In captivity, the animals are squeezed into very close proximity. Tilikum, the poor guy is so large, he couldn't get away because he just is not as mobile relative to the smaller and more agile females.
Seriously, he's so big.
Where was he going to run? There's no place to run.
I thought that it was our responsibility to do as much as we could to keep their family units together, since we knew that in the wild that's what happens.
Yes, sir.
Family units, as in like the one you completely fabricated. Okay, now you're the mother. You be its kid. You're young enough. Like that. What do you mean? You stole the kids? Or do you mean like after you breed them?
Our baby.
Kalina was the first baby Shamu.
Baby Shamu, SeaWorld's newest star.
She had become quite disruptive and challenging her mom a little bit, and disrupting some shows and that kind of thing.
She's got the whole place jumping. Shamu, she's our baby whale.
It was decided by the higher-ups that she would be moved to another park when she was
80s,
just
90s commercials.
And that was news to us as trainers that were working with her. To me, it had never crossed my mind that they might be moving the baby from her mom. So the night of the move, we had to deploy the nets to separate them and get Kalina, the baby, into the med pool. And Katina was...
This is the first baby whale, right? That's what they said. We tried to keep them together, the families together. First baby whale. Rip home farts from its mother.
She was generally a quiet whale. She was not overly vocal whale. After Kalina was removed from the scene and put on the truck and taken to the airport, and Katina, her mom, was left in the pool, she stayed in the corner of the pool, like literally just shaking and screaming, screeching, crying. Like I'd never seen her do anything like that. And the other females in the pool, maybe once or twice during the night, they'd come out and check on her, and she'd screech and cry, and they would just run back.
Those are not your whales. You know, you love them and you think, I'm the one that touches them, feeds them, keeps them alive, gives them the care that they need.
They need?
They're not your whales. It was to take Takara to Florida. Once Takara had already been stretchered out of the pool, put on a truck.
It's not hard. It's not hard to just keep, like, there's so many, like, it's bad in and of itself, but there are so many things you can do better. Just do some of them, please.
Driven to the airport.
And the trainers care about the animals so much too.
Kasaka continued to make vocals that had never been heard before. They brought in the senior research scientists to analyze the vocals. They were long-range vocals.
She's calling out. She's calling out. Long range.
She was trying something that no one had even heard before, looking for Takara. That's heartbreaking.
Ah. This is oh my god. How is this still a thing? It's not still a thing, right? It's not still a thing, right? There are currently 59 orcas in captivity at sea parks and aquariums throughout the world. But what about in the United States? A third of the world's... Oh, okay, what about in Canada? How did I go from memes to this? This is what this channel's all about. Emotional roller coasters going up and down, up and down. Canada bans keeping whales and dolphins in captivity. Parliament passed the Ending the Captivity of Whales and Dolphins Act in a move hailed by animal rights activists 2019. There we go. Yep, I knew it. So nice.
How can anyone look at that and think that that is morally acceptable?
Is it legal? Is the question.
It's not. It is not okay.
Definitely not. Definitely
because
not.
The whales in their pools die young.
Like, it's so weird, the ego we have on us. Like, we're humans. So we can own whatever we want. Orcas? Hey, that'd be fun to own that, and we can look at them. That'd be fun. Wait, we can get paid for them to be looked at. Oh, this is genius. Take it. Is there a family there? A family of 15 that never splits up? Take one of those.
They like to say that all orcas die at 25 or 30 years. And of course that's false. We knew by 1980, after half a dozen years of the research, that they live equivalent to human lifespans. And every other potentially embarrassing fact is twisted and turned and denied.
I don't know why that's important. Why is it important that they live long lifespans? Like, if it was 10 years, why is that less of an abuse? I don't know. Like, you're still taking them away from their families for the rest of their lives. People like to compare things to humans. Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Or another.
It does kind of humanize them, I guess, in a sense. It pulls on the heartstrings a bit, you know.
In the wild, they live less.
They live less in the wild than in. Okay.
Like the floppy dorsal fins.
Dorsal collapse happens in less than 1% of wild killer whales. We know this. All of the captive males, 100%, have collapsed dorsal fins.
100%.
And they say that they're
100%. I did not know that.
That the whales are in their family. They have their pods, but that's just an artificial assemblage of their collection. However, management decides they should mix them, and whichever ones happen to be born or bought and brought in. That's not a family.
You guys are family now, because I
These
said
are different nations. These aren't just two different killer whales. These animals, they've got different genes. They use different languages.
Killer whale trainer accidents, maybe 30 of them happened prior to me being actually hired at SeaWorld.
Oh my. I was not expecting that. Just jumped right in.
And I knew about none of them.
I'm like, what is that? Oh my god. Is that
I can't imagine a society with the value we
foot.
put in marine mammals if those parks didn't exist.
I'm not at all interested in having my daughter, who is 3.5, grow up thinking that it's normalized to have these intelligent, highly evolved animals in concrete pools. I don't want her to think that's how we treat the kin that we find ourselves around on this planet. I think it's atrocious.
There's something wrong, with Tilikum, that there's something wrong, and that's when you have a relationship with the animal and you understand that he's killing not to be a savage. He's not killing because he's just crazy. He's not killing because he doesn't know what he's doing. He's killing because he's frustrated and he's got aggravations and he doesn't know he has no outlet for it.
It's time to stop the shows. It's time to stop forcing the animals to perform in basically a circus environment. And they should release the animals that are young enough and healthy enough to be released.
SeaWorld's trainers must now remain behind barriers. And how does that help the animals? It just helps the trainers. Alright. Aw, died? Aw. Aw. That's the life. That's the life it lived. It was captured in Iceland in 1983. And it died in 2017. Why can't we swear in chat after such an emotional video? If you really need to get it off your chest, fine. But I think you can find better ways to express yourself. Somewhere
What
here.
happens?
Yes, sir. That's our baby.
Kalina was the first baby Shamu.
Where is it?
This. Looking for Takara. That's heartbreaking.
It conveys so much emotion, way more than any swear word would. Look at that. Just look at that.
Looking.
I feel so bad every time I hear that.
That's heartbreaking.
That's heartbreaking. The way, oh my god, I feel so bad. Why am I showing the video? Am I trying to kill him? What do you mean? It's Shamu! Boo boo boo! That's so fun.